How's it going, Cancerian community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So some key words here is working through your tests and trials while establishing new foundations of confidence. Remember, when you run into ill people, let me check. Okay, ill people, places, and or things, the vibe that they give is on them. You are only in charge of how you react to it. Then I had an ancestor chime in. So I quote, people will call you what they want to call you. Just remember, you don't have to, own it. Ooh, that is a good message, end quote. So let's get started right away. First thing I'm seeing is definitely there's energy that's probably been on a cycle, been on repeat for you, and it's played out. Really played out. You're having a hard time trying to figure out how to get up and move from this. And this has to do with people who are a little weird. Could be a little obsessed with you, obsessed with what you're doing. If you're trying to bring in new things, introduce new things, whatever, if this has to do with work life, home life, whatever the community life is, this person who overly focuses on every single move you make type of energy, you're having a hard time again how to move forward from it, I should say, how to pack up your self-confidence, your personal power, and take it elsewhere instead of like handing it over to them. Something else that I'm seeing is definitely boss daddy energy that was right under that moving. So this tells me is definitely getting flexed in masculine energy could help. And positive masculine tendencies are exploration, adventure, progress, and development. So what I'm hearing is keeping your eye on the prize is the most important thing, regardless of what people's opinions are. Something else we're not seeing here, and there's something that you're at odds ends with when it comes to people offering you things. Maybe like little apology gifts. I'm sorry I acted like an ass with you. Can I give you this to say sorry? But what I'm getting is they still continue acting the same way. So it's not really an apology. I will say that. Something else you are not seeing is the Queen rising energy. So being able to go between the light and the dark. So with the boss daddy, we talked about the masculine positive tendencies. So with the queen here, queen rising, we're going to talk about the feminine positive tendencies, which is compassion, acceptance, kindness, and mercy. And what we got from that little vibe with the key words here is definitely not owning other people's emotions, not owning other people's actions, being accepting of who they are and what they're doing and not taking it out on yourself, but not overreacting to things as well. So being able to navigate between the light and the dark, being able to walk right between them. Something else you're not seeing is there's definitely some haunted memories, flashbacks, traumas, triggers. Definitely there are some triggers here. Somebody could be triggering you and you are unknowing of it. You just know that their actions really, really bother you. Crying over you. Crying over you. And let's see, creativity. So I want you to really focus in here. Steals your ideas. Copies your work. Duplicates, feeds off of you. So like I said, you have somebody here who is just so upset. They can't come up with the ideas that you have. They can't come up with the success that you have, and this is something that really plagues them at night. That really plagues them all during their day. This plagues them every minute of every hour. And what I do notice here is definitely the masculines are looking at the energy while the feminine is off on her own direction. So this is a part of that exploration and development. We need to explore this view. We need to develop from this view when it comes to actually looking at people for who they are and the actions that they do, and being able again to accept, have mercy, move forward with kindness and compassion, because you are not going to be dragged down to their level where you're going to keep their misery company by walking on eggshells for them, trying to take their little quote unquote apologies, and I do the quote unquote because their apologies are not real. Their apologies are really fake. They could do the apologies whatever just for show. But the thing is they're just really hyper focused on every move that you do. Oh my goodness. It almost sounds like you're dealing with another Cancerian or maybe a Scorpio. And the only reason why I say that, because in Cancerian Scorpio energies, and this is something that you are reflecting of them too. So take this for food for thought. So Cancerians and Scorpios have a hard time letting go of things, because once they end up grasping onto something, if you think about a crab, if you think about a Scorpio, they will hold it and hold it and hold it, even if it means that it's going to injure them somehow. So right here, what you're reflecting is holding on and focusing, overly focusing on this person. This is why it's important to accept this person, the situation, the energy that they bring for what it is, so you can let it go and move forward from there. Remember, everybody brings in some type of reflection of ourselves. That's why it can bother us. If they didn't bring in some kind of reflection, it wouldn't bother us. So let's move forward from the introduction into the present for the Cancerian. Oh my goodness, stuff is popping out. Definitely with the Eight of Pentacles here, you've been working really hard on things. Something that you've been working really hard on is your fertility. Now, fertility doesn't just mean reproductive stuff. Your fertility comes in for your career advances, for your home life advances. Anywhere you are within a community, whether family, friends, hobbies, it's just you want to move forward in those areas, and you want to move forward with a kind heart, a loving heart, a heart that is very accepting of others, because the first thing that we have out is the Empress energy. And if I flip this just right, here we go. Remember I told you it's a reflection here? So let me flip this the other way here. Remember, look at that. This Empress, is looking away from her reflection. All right. So you may not believe, you may not know consciously, I should say, that this person is reflecting something that is within you. And what I would say is your doubts of who you are when it comes to this Empress energy. Empress energy is also a nurturer, because Empress represents Venus. Venus is all about the things that we relate to, all about the things that we love. Empress is also Taurus energy, the things that we have around us. Cancerians love to really invest in their environment, and they invest in the people around them as well. With the Libra energy also being represented by Venus, it's a very just energy, trying to do just by everybody. And this is something that this person sees. This is something that this person really focuses on, and this is something that this person really targets. They target your great ideas. They target the things that you want to bring in. They target you trying to balance out this community because they really like unbalancedness. It's for some reason that's their comfort zone. Again, you work really, 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 really hard, even though you could be in a circus right now. And that's what it feels like. For some reason, you feel like you're in a circus. It feels like you can't get forward. And it feels like, you know, you are just somebody's dancing chicken. And this is something that you kind of replay in your head, because no matter what moves you make, it still feels like everything is out of control in your kingdom, even though you're trying to cycle through things, whether trying to move forward emotionally, physically, mentally. And this is where you kind of need to put your foot down as that masculine energy and saying, you know what, enough is enough, and stop being hung up by these others through your beliefs, that with that hangman right there. So remember, Pisces is very transcendent energy. That's a direct connection with that higher up energy that we have within ourselves. Cancerians, you're really good at reading between the lines. And this is something that you need to see. This is something how you view the world and how you view making your moves forward from it with people and places around you. But something always catches up with you, and it has to do with your memories. Memories of, you know, people always wanting to be in conflict with you, people always wanting to grab up your energy and just kind of take you wherever they want to take you. And this is something that you've been surrounded by no matter what place, what person. It's something that you're always seem to find. And that's hard. That is very hard for you, because you know what? It gets aggravating. It gets aggravating, and it puts you in a spot that you've always been, a spot that you feel like you can't move forward from when it comes to emotionally evolving. Because of the conflict. I would say the conflict is something that definitely rocks your boat. Conflict is something that makes you feel unstable, especially if you're really working hard to eliminate the conflict. And the conflict has to do with Three of Cups energy. I don't know why I pulled that, because I pulled the other one. So conflict has to do with the communities around you, and not, because right here, the communities around you, people around you, this is all celebrating with them. Celebrating the good vibe. Here we're not celebrating, and you can find out a lot of people, or certain people, don't have the greatest intentions for you, and for some reason you just don't understand why when you're working so hard in your environment. And what I'm hearing to say is you're not meant to understand why people act the way they do. Again, that's on them. All you can do is control how you react to it and how you move forward from there. So, I mean, what I'm being shown is like military stuff. When it comes to making moves, you have to not make moves just based off of one individual. It's moves based for what is the greater good for the whole branch, the whole community, the whole enchilada type of thing. And sometimes, and what I'm hearing to say, sacrifices have to be made. And what I'm also hearing to say is that requires putting people in the places where they are meant to be. Now, I'll give you a little detour right here, right now. I recently I've been running into energies. Maybe you will understand this, because with these moons, we had the full moon in Aries on the 6th. Now we're going to have the Scorpio. So Aries full moon on the 6th of October, and Scorpio is going to be the new moon on October 21st. But let's back up another month, and we'll go to the previous new moon, which was in Libra on September 21st. So we go from this people-pleasing energy to going into the things that we are conflicted with when it comes to people pleasing energy, then going into evolving from confronting those conflicts when it came to people pleasing and what we need to do for us, because Scorpio is all about transformation through relationships. So even though you feel like this is a recurring kind of thing, this is a never-ending kind of revolving door going around, that's because this is the time for you to step up. This is the time for you to do something different. This is the time for you to start to renovate your inner home and the foundations in it, and how you want to go about things, how you want people to treat you, and how you have your personal power and confidence in that you are entitled to not handing it over to people who are overly focused on everything that you do because they're unhappy. They're unhappy with change. They're unhappy with trying to do something more. They're unable to adapt. That's on them, because one of our missions in life is to keep evolving. For us personally, my belief is we keep evolving spiritually to get closer to that higher power, which we have a seed of it inside of us. All right, so this is something that you're meant to do, to find yourself. Don't forget that. It isn't that the world has it out for you, but definitely divine wants to see you evolve into who you are a bit more, because there's something special about you. You're there for a reason. Don't forget that. All right, so we must continue. Let's call in our angels of protection. Angels of protection, please help, guide, and protect us as we navigate the block here for the Cancerian. What is it that needs to come out? What is it that needs to be exposed? What is it that needs to come to light when it comes to the block here? All right, I'm hearing that is enough. So first cards that I seen right away is, again, here we go with this Eight of Pentacles energy. Something you need to know is that you've been working really hard. You've been taking the steps to work hard. You went from 7 to 8 Pentacles. No matter where you go, who you're surrounded by, you always put your best foot forward, showing up and doing the work. You need to see that when it comes to the situations from the past until now, because look at this. What is that called? What is it? Is it like a royal flush here? I think it is. I'm not sure. If I have it wrong, please correct me. But look at this. I have the 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, all right here. Somebody who's been really doing the work when it comes to their stability, when it comes to the things around them, even in their environment, even when it comes to them trying to take care of the things around them, take care of themselves while balancing out stress. And this is something that you have hid yourself from when it comes to realizing how much you've worked on yourself, on this environment, and on your community from the past until the present. Remember, you are a very hard worker. You're a hard worker because you take on the role. You will carry the heavy weight. This is why you have such a boss energy around you. But something here, the mind tends to play tricks on you, especially when it comes to the communication styles that other people come in with you. Other people you could feel like are ganging up on you at times, not sure how to receive them, not sure how to receive what they are trying to give to you, type of thing. Then we have this Knight of Pentacles. There's something here. I mean, you really feel like you have so much pushback from others when it comes trying to maybe go off in directions that they're not used to. What it is you have a nuance. I'm hearing to say a nuance that you want to bring in. You have, again, these fresh ideas. Remember, you're an empress. So there's a lot of fertility when it comes to the energies that you bring in when it comes to ideas. But it's hard to implement those ideas because you're always worried about how others will receive it. And something that is a part of what we need to do is we need to learn how to walk away. Walk away from what has been established in our energy of accepting others' behaviors, because us staying there is keeping us in the same routines of things. Giving yourself permission to walk away can also be very cleansing. Not giving people options, not giving people room to poke at your insecurities, things. I think this is why I see it like earlier, such from like a military type of view. When they give an order, that's it. There's no going up to the officer, person in charge, excuse me if I'm messing up the lingo, and being like, well, I don't like this, and I don't think we should have to wake up at like 4 o'clock to do this, and like, oh my god, no. There's no going up to the officer in command and telling them your opinion and how it's not fair. No, you're given an order and you do the order. And I feel like that's kind of the energy that they want you to bring in when it comes to confidence. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be unflexible. That doesn't mean you have to run it like a military style, but they want you to see how you are in a place of power for a reason. Power could be a management. You could be the head of the family. You could be a head coordinator of something, but it is learning how to step into that position. Think about a lot of bigger, job titles when it comes to, say, like mayor, president, CEO type of things. When these people call the shots, we can't sit here and, I mean, you are going to have a person who's going to complain, but regardless, they're calling the shots and it is going to go that way. So, I mean, could be a poor example. I like the military example a little bit better, but I hope you get what I am trying to put out for you. So other things that we are not seeing here, definitely when it comes to this person is just really ill. I will say that because this person really, again, they reside in conflict. They really try and turn a lot of others against you. This person's very insecure. So in order to validate themselves, they have to go running to everyone else and try and get everybody else to feel how they feel. And one of the things is they want to show that you don't have control, that you're being over dominating. And again, this all has to do with conflict. They want to bring in lots of conflict to you, your ideas. But the thing is that you don't see is you're in a 10 of Cups energy. This is off to the distance on my notepad, but it also was touching on the word Cancer. Cancer, you are successful. And one of the things that make you very successful is because you are a person who has a heart chakra that is in balance. It's going clockwise. It's, you want to bring harmony. You want to bring emotional balance. You want to bring more of a loving and compassionate kind of environment for everyone. But on the other side of things, you're dealing with somebody who has a closed heart chakra. They're just geared by jealousy, bitterness, holding grudges, and they have a lack of empathy. That's why they push so hard against everything that you're trying to do. Just know that it's not you. It really isn't. It's them. So Just know that you have worked hard, and you have worked hard in a way where you really think about your community a lot. You have a lot of empathy and sympathy for your community. You are a very good leader. I'm not gonna lie. You're not somebody who is only making moves for themselves, no matter what this other person is trying to say about you, because we had the Emperor come out twice, and you are confused about the moves that you're making. Here we go, Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups really talks about getting up. It's time. It's time to do something. Time to do something. To do what? With this Ace of Cups, it's time to fulfill your cup with how you feel. Forget the rest. I'm being told to tell you, forget the rest on what they're trying to fill your cup with. Here we are. So when I was first dialing into this energy, I felt the Queen of Cups. I was really reflecting on the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups in the traditional tarot is very focused on her cup. She is focused on how that cup is fulfilled, whether others are putting their bullshit into it or she's putting stuff into it. And just remember, we will get overly full. Our inner cup, our inner emotions will get overly full when we are always taking into consideration everybody else's actions against us, when it's not in love, light, and compassion. But again, you have to understand how people treat you is on them, regardless of the situation. And that is something that is really expressed here. And this is something that you need to, or you can, if you want to, be open to, is after dealing with this person, this headache of an energy who is just your op, taking that cup and emptying it. Emptying out their sourness and refilling it. Refilling it with everything that you know who you are. Everything that you know that what you're about. And being able to sip that cup of self-confidence, sip that cup of being in your personal power, sip that cup of being grounded and secure in who you are, sip that cup of being balanced in your emotions, sip that cup of having confidence in speaking, because again, the way you're leading your life is through wanting to take care of others. Sip that cup because you know what, you're going to trust that insight. Sip that cup because guess what, you worked hard for all the inner wisdom that you have gained along the way that others cannot take from you. You have an option on how you fill that cup of emotions. Just know that. It takes practice. Yes, it does. It takes everyday practice, just like it takes everyday practice to make yourself question yourself on the things that you do. Ooh, I really like this story. This is really cool. I like it. So let's go ahead and move on to the conclusion. So we're going to call in divine and universal energy to help round out this story really quick. Oh, I thought I had a card here that I didn't mention, so excuse me. It was just the death card. For some reason, I was really drawn to the death card. Maybe because I'm looking at these cups here, and maybe putting an end to always absorbing what whoever this person, place, or thing is that is trying to make you feel like you are not doing the best, like your intentions aren't just, like your intentions aren't towards taking care of your community, is being able to let go of that, let go of what they're trying to fill your stuff with, so that you can start moving forward with what you want to invest in, how you want to see these investments happening when it comes to that groundedness that you're trying to bring in. When it comes to the positive energy, the energy of security, when it comes to the person, place, community that you are in and dealing with this situation. Ooh-wee. Just know that this person's, places here is all a challenge. It's part of the test and it's part of the trial for you to get over this inner hurdle that you have within you. Alright, but we have to move forward. Divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out for the positive messages? Oh my gosh, it comes out again. What comes out again? Well, it talks about adult children. Oh my goodness. Yeah, some adults are not really good at being adults. Just know that. Just know that some people don't know how to emotionally evolve themselves. Like I said, whoever this person is, they're not adaptable. They're not wanting to evolve. They don't want to see things differently. Just know that. But also know that they want to target your heart chakra. They want to target your root chakra, your communication, and your stability. So when they're coming in, just keep that in mind, that they are targeting you to mess up your energy on purpose. This has to do with relationship dynamics. You are allowed to lay out boundaries, healthy boundaries, rules, all that stuff for how people will or will not, or not allowed to, treat you. Just know that. And that will shift dynamics within your relationships. Call it for what it is. This person is whoever they are, the way that they are, for their own personal reasons. Doesn't make that a bad person, but this person is just stuck with themselves in a certain area of their life that they can't seem to unscramble or move forward from. And it just sucks that you're on that receiving end of that misplaced anger. Keep that in mind too. Something else is emotions. We talked about that. Emptying your cup of all their ill will, ill intentions that they're trying to put on you because they're hyper focused on you. Balancing that out when it comes to how you feel is going to take gentleness, softness, time to grow, but also you have to dwell there as well. And this is a part of you really getting concreted in that boss daddy energy, that progressive development, adventure, exploration type of energy. Something else, hobbies. This comes at the 6, the 7, and the 8 of Pentacles here. Don't forget to take your TLC time. Work out your frustrations. I see kickboxing for somebody. So maybe you need to get out and do some big physical movements. I always suggest rage rooms for people who really love big movement and working out energy that is built up. But we need to start to include a hobby in there, something that you look forward to on those bad days, something where you can see that progress with yourself. Maybe something where you do something with yourself opposed to in a group setting. Again, hobbies are a wonderful way for us to see our personal progress with things. It's also something for us to step out of our stress and just work on something different. You know, turning off the stressors, the responsibilities, everything that plagues our mind and takes us out of the present moment. A hobby can help bring you back to the present moment of now. Something else here is parental care in reverse. You're not this person's parent. You're not this place's parent. But for some reason, you feel like you're dealing with, again, adult children. I guess this is why I talked about the military tactics and the ranks and what happens, you know, when an order is given. Sometimes you can allow leeway for things, but sometimes you have to run your community the way you need to run your community. As long as you're doing it in love, light, and compassion, disregard what people want to fuss about. It's either you adapt and you evolve and you move forward, or, kick rocks. You can't say that though. You can't say that. So I would definitely think of another way to say that. But it's not giving people options to step on you and step on what you're doing. Because again, you have ideas, you're running things with good intentions, where you have somebody who is creating chaos because of their bad intentions. Something else is forgiveness. We want to take out what others do, say on ourselves. We also want to hold grudges against them, but just know that that's going to close you up, and basically it's going to take you down to their level. It's also going to limit you spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, because you're focused on them and they're focused on you, and you guys are just having the silent battle. No, elevate yourself out of that battle with forgiving this person for who they are. And I kid you not, I really heard that when I was first dialing in. Forgive them for who they are and move on. Finances. Once you put down this conflict, once you start to evolve your emotional view, you are going to get an increased currency. And this currency has to deal with your root chakra, it has to deal with your throat chakra, and it has to deal with your beliefs about yourself. So just know that. And of course, that is going to trickle into other areas of your life. Just know that. Moving. Then we have memories. Moving, memories, and what? Sobriety. So maybe this is why the hobbies come in. Sometimes we need a little drinky drink after a hard day, so that we can just take off the whole weight of the day. So we don't have to deal with all the memories of the chaos that we were dealing with that day, the previous week, whatever, because this person's been messing with you for a while. Just know, when you take yourself out of sobriety to take the edge off, then that becomes a routine to deal with stress. So maybe this is why hobbies is here, dealing with stress a different way, a way that doesn't take you out of your personal power, but helps create that personal power, that confidence, that joy, that self-discipline, and that motivation. Because whatever this is, it really targets your insecurities, and it really targets you feeling like you have a lack of control. Now, I'm hearing to say control is an illusion, so just know that, but we are meant to flow. So just keep that in mind. We are meant to flow. We are meant to evolve. And this person here is meant to challenge you so that you can evolve your view of how you feel about yourself, because you're a pretty damn awesome person. You are both boss daddy and queen rising. And your energy is so abundant that it really bothers this other person, to where if they're not copying you, if they're not trying to steal out your ideas and trying to place them off as their own, on the other end of it, they're crying over everything that you're coming up with because they can't do it. That person, like I said, they're stuck. They want to stay stuck. And guess what? Blaming you is easier for them than them going within and doing the work. Again, that's not your problem. That's them to own. What you can own is how you do you, boo-boos. Alrighty, so this is gonna conclude it. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for coming in and helping out with all these positive messages. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.